I will never be able to read that. It's totally because I'm driving, not because my handwriting's terrible. But next up, I have a gentleman who is having a renovation project done, and basically stated, the contractor said, house is hot, no air coming through the vents. The outdoor unit seems like it's running, they think, but they didn't dig too far into it. Immediately, being that it's being renovated, strikes me as, uh-oh, I bet they're doing sheetrock. And anytime you sand that sheetrock, you get that really fine dust. It is a magnet for filters, and you'll have a brand new filter just immediately be unserviceable, cause a freeze up. On the other hand, if there's no filter in the unit, or it's a lower quality filter, that stuff will get right on the coil, and as our coils condense in water, it just turns into a soupy puddle of sheetrock essentially on your coil. So hopefully that's not the case, but we'll stop by, take a look, and see what we can find for them. Sounds like I hear the compressor growling. There is a little bit of heat exchange, so I am feeling basically our ambient air temperature is getting warmer coming through the top, and our line is definitely colder. So let's put our gauges on, see what we see. Okay, in the time it's taken us to get our manifold and come back, we already see that we're starting to frost on our suction line out here. We are utilizing R22 refrigerant. I don't see any stickers saying that it's been retrofit with anything. We'll go ahead and just look at our pressure. But the rapidity in which that froze does tell us we either have some kind of airflow issue, we're running a 25-degree vapor saturation point with R22, 4-degree going down superheat. And around a 270-pound head pressure. As I say, due to the rapidity in which that froze, makes me think we do have airflow issue. Our superheat's dropping down 3 and below again. So let's run inside, double check the fan. Maybe as simple as we said, they are doing some renovations. Could be as simple as a very dirty filter. So we'll go take a look real quick. Be right back. So we found this guy, and the fan motor is actually operating. Oh boy. Yep, right there. I don't know if you saw that. But we will turn this off to pull it the rest of the way out. But that's exactly what it is, as there's so much sheetrock dust on that filter that it cannot breathe. I always love to see that too. I want to unplug it so that we pull in as little of this as we possibly can, but you can see it snowflaking out of there, even on my boot. Oop. That filter has caved in due to the airflow restriction. It's not going to come out of there very easily. Oh, come on. Woo. Fun. So, we'll take a picture with our camera real quick, just to make sure not horribly dirty. And our coil is actually pretty dirty as well, so we'll have to get in here, clean this coil up, get them a new filter, and more than likely everything will be fine. All right. Oh yeah, a little bit dirty of a coil, so we'll go ahead and clean that out. The blower doesn't look too dirty actually, but we can see where it's been making a bunch of excess water and going everywhere than where it should. So we'll clean this drain line out as well, probably a clogged P-trap, and I will throw a couple of treatment tablets in there just to make sure that doesn't happen again. So do be aware, there are differences in coil cleaners. This one is specifically designed for evaporators and condensing coils that are going to be in the airstream of the house. That is something to think about. A lot of these can be very acidic or very basic, and they will cause damage to the coil if it's not correctly utilized. On top of that, this is in the line of our breathable air, so anything we put on this coil is eventually going to be in the airstream inside. So just be aware, not all coil cleaners are the same. As we wait for a coil cleaner to break up some of this mess, like you can see it's doing, just notice this is a piston or a fixed orifice coil. So our liquid refrigerant from our condenser runs up, hits our pressure drop device, which in this case is a fixed orifice, or they call it a piston. So if you can kind of think about it like a little nozzle, like on our spray can, liquid's hitting it, dropping pressure as it goes through these feeder tubes into the different channels of this coil. As that lower pressure liquid runs through, it's now able to boil at a much lower temperature. So as we're running back through our coil, starting to boil, eventually turning to a gas, gets pulled back out as a vapor. So a lot of people don't think about it, but boiling is actually a cooling process. That change of state from a liquid to a gas is absorbing a whole lot of heat to change our liquid to a gas, and in so doing cools our air back down that's going through this coil. So ideally you want to use as much of this coil as possible to allow for that change of state. That way it's picking up as much heat as possible. So if you're only using a little bit of your coil, hey, it worked real well up to here, but for the rest of this, we're no longer changing to a vapor, so not really cooling anymore. On the other hand, if you got too much refrigerant, or your metering device has got a problem, and liquid's coming back out on your suction line, you run into a whole other host of problems where, first off, you're not cooling really, because you're not changing state of the refrigerant, but also then you run into issues with liquid slugging on that compressor that can actually damage things. So too much or too little refrigerant both have their own host of issues. But let's scrape this guy out now that our foam's starting to dissipate. Be very careful on your brush choice too. If you're too stiff, you can actually damage the coil fins as well. This nice black goo. But this is just a nice little nylon brush. Okay, we are much cleaner than we were. And the residual is going to continue to break that down. But in the meantime, let's see what's going on with this drain. Probably vacuum it out real quick. We are actually dripping, and I do smell our lovely lemon lime coil cleaner. So it is going freely. We'll go ahead and get our vacuum going though. Make sure we don't have any other issues while we're working on it. You can see it jiggling as it's pulling our clog out. And these are just drain pan treatment tablets. I believe these are borax, and as they dissolve, they'll just go down through this drain, kill anything that might be causing any issues. And one of these screws is blunt tipped, so that will go right here, so we don't hit anything related to the coil and cause ourselves problems. We have it running at 65. I do hear the fan running, and I think I heard the outdoor unit start up. Just keep in mind, it is very important to check your filters. Low pressure issues and freeze ups, everybody just assumes it's refrigerant related, but your low pressure can be caused by low airflow as well. So lower your refrigerant pressure, colder it gets, more it freezes, more it's going to drop the pressure because of lower airflow, and it literally snowballs. So let's take a look and see what our outdoor unit's doing. Much more respectable suction pressure. our 69.8, 69.70-ish. The vapor saturation point about 40.7, give or take. So we'll probably watch this guy for a little bit, make sure nothing odd happens, being that it is an older system. I will have to get another filter and return over here with it and kind of have a conversation with the homeowner and the construction crew to, hey, might not be the best idea to run the unit while you're sanding sheetrock. But also something to keep in mind for everybody else. If you're sheetrocking, turn off your unit. But we'll get this one taken care of and move on to the next.